in the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you, 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 won't you let the light shine through. In the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you.
Good evening, everybody, guys and girls. Welcome to a whole new type of video on this channel where we are going to be playing Championship Manager 01-02 with the 1920 season patch. I think it's a Tapani patch. Is that right, Pete?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
My best friend Pete here is joining me. How many years have we been playing this game on and off? God, it seems like last 8 years probably.
Since it come out.
Was it since it came out? God, it's mental.
I think we've been playing it since it come out.
Like it's
patched to the October 2019 players.
Wow. Okay, so it's got like the likes of Bowen on it for Hull, who obviously now is in the Premier League anyway, playing for West Ham. What's your thoughts on playing on the ultra hard mode?
Well, me?
Yeah.
Well, we've done it before, haven't we? It's really hard.
Yeah. So guys, this is going to be interesting. When you start to see keepers making 27 saves a game, that's because we've got this patch on at the moment. So yeah. Hey Wiz.
It's quite a challenge, isn't it, as well? Because we've gone through the Championship, picked Milwall and Hull.
Yeah.
Because they didn't really have good squads or amazing stadiums, so we wanted to give ourselves a bit of a challenge in the Championship, try and get up.
I need to remember not to get too angry at this game because in the past I've pretty raged. But you can see we've got some transfer bids coming back in the game at the moment. I've got Cedric Suarez from Southampton, who's somehow, I don't know why, he's interested in Hull City in the Championship, but he is. And I'm going to try and give him a contract now.
No interest.
Literally a day ago he had interest, but today he doesn't. Great. So it doesn't look like I'm going to be signing Cedric Suarez anytime soon.
You've seen that you listed off the rest of. You listed off the rest of the squad, didn't you? And he's like, "No, I'm not interested anymore."
I can't afford 19 like the wages he wants anyway. To be honest with you.
Just sack that off.
Yeah, that's a lost cause. This guy, Swansea, Selina,
Good player.
Bersant Selina, Swansea.
We probably need to show some people like the way it works with like the stats there, don't we? Because some of the people won't have ever played it. So
yeah, that's a good point. Do you want to go for it then? Because you're the expert.
Well, I don't know about that. But
right, yeah.
Bersant Selina and that, like they're color coded, aren't they? The stats. So if they like dark orange or red, it means they got a really good stat, and they go up to 20. He's not bad really. Flair 16, set pieces 16, technique 17.
Yeah, I might raise the actual offer on that one just slightly. But he's regarding him as an important player for the future, so they're going to probably want double that, maybe even more. So,
yeah, you've got about $1 million in the bank, haven't you?
Oh, look, you've got so just continue down to you. You've got some contracts going on here. So Pete spent about 3 hours looking for players earlier on.
Let's try and get him in.
What was that? Was this Wiz has posted a tweet for?
Oh, it's not. Jay, why is it not doing it?
Oh, because I probably because I'm loading up something on the other screen. There we go. Hang on, 2 secs. There you go. It should work now. Oh no way! It's Wiz has linked his Championship Manager game here. Veron.
Is he playing the same one?
Yeah, I don't know if you know. I think he's playing the original with Veron, Defoe, Joe Cole.
Let's see how much you've only got 1.5 million in the bank, and you're bidding.
I know.
Yeah, let's have a look. What have you bidded for? Future transfers.
19 million worth of. Well, they could come back. I might get some gems.
A lot of them don't go through, do they? So
no.
Shall I continue?
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, he's rejected me. It's because I've been. I'll give him a few years more. Give him a bit more of a bonus.
Oh yeah, what game speed have you got on at the moment?
I'll give him that.
We might need to change the game speed in a minute as well. Hey Lama, how's it going? You need to buy Mark Falkirk. He's a Championship Manager legend.
Jake, these people don't even need a left back here. Should we wait until you've got some money in?
Yeah, let's wait. Hopefully we'll get some money in and get some more interest from these players.
You've not got any friendlies arranged, have you?
Hey, Lama, is that like the current? Is he?
I don't know.
If he's a Championship Manager legend, is he still playing now? Because this is patched up to now, pretty much.
Yeah, get some money in. I need some money in here.
Look at that.
Oh my god, he's dreadful. Look at that. 7 acceleration for a striker.
Yeah, but he's got 18 dribbling.
Yeah, he's going. Alright, let's set that one. That's alright. When you get this, when you've got like 4 teams bidding for the same player, this is where you can negotiate.
You can bump him up a little bit.
Take 95 from one of them and then see how much you can get out of the others.
Get a bidding war going on.
Hazard? What's this? Dan McNamara? Oh my god. That's terrible.
Get him gone, man.
Do you want to buy him,
Look at you getting all these bids.
What's this? Hazard?
Connor Hazard.
Connor Hazard, yeah. I'm getting Hazard in for Milwall. Oh god, it's this one, isn't it? Let's try and get like Yeah, I'll put. You've got a load. We'll just have to get through this.
Yeah, we'll get through
Setup
these initial. Like, we didn't stream the bit where we were bidding on players, but we're just trying to sell some of our like dead weight and get some decent players in at the moment.
Look at this. I got a player worth $500,000, and they're trying to offer me 200k. Not happening. I'll drop it a bit. But it's because we've listed half of our dead weight, haven't we? It's just all these bids are coming in at 50k. Whatever. I've got many more. Oh, he's good.
Sorry, dude. I was going to turn the volume down a little bit.
Do you want to do some on yours? Do you want to do some on yours? We've listed half the I can't do anything there. It's not letting me click.
There we go. There you go.
Oh yeah. New centre back. Yeah, you can give him a. Oh, not that. Oh, whatever that'll do.
You really want to get a Hazard guy, don't you?
He's a goalie. I've never even heard of him. Get him in. Right, there we go.
Right, River transfer for Bonds. So he's worth 80k, and we're getting a. Right, okay. I'll accept that one.
He's got amazing stats.
Rennes have put a bid in for Suarez. Oh, it's a shame. It's a shame just can't afford him. Lewis Potter. Oh, okay.
You ain't getting Cedric Souza.
Oh, here we go. No, it's too much, isn't he? Hey? Nice. Need to probably see how much he's actually worth before I accept that.
One of those, it said one of those was like $500,000 after 10 international caps. He's never getting 10 international caps for England.
Yeah.
Oh, it's 160k.
Kenzie. God, he's dreadful, isn't he? But he's worth 200 grand and they're offering me 65. Cheapskates.
35.
35-year-old.
They're all trying to do you over.
19-year-old.
Oh, he's dreadful.
Yeah, I'll accept that one. Oh, Shane Long.
Yeah, Shane Long would be decent.
Imagine if he came. Just bankrupt. I'll bankrupt myself.
Not even interested.
He might be.
Sometimes though, when it says that, they do still come, don't they?
Sometimes.
If you offer them a really good contract,
rarely.
go, all right. You can't afford that sort of money.
Hang on. Well, I might do if I sell a few of these. But then again, the contract's going to be. Oh, yeah.
Oh my god, this guy just won't sign it. I'm just going to have to give him what he wants. It's that minimum fee. I don't really want to give him that.
Chris and Sir Lewis, hey, welcome to the stream, dude. Oh, 1 second, Pete. Sorry, dude. I'm just going to quickly bring up that screen. There you go. Carry on.
Alright, I'm just going to give him a big contract. A little big $6 grand a week.
I went back to Football Manager 11, but I did go back and played CM 97 and 98 a month ago. What a difference. Yeah, the thing I don't really like about modern Football Manager games is that they're just a bit too in-depth and like they consume a lot of your time. Whereas this is just like a pretty simple... hang on a second.
Jay, I just want to check something.
Darlow, goalkeeper. He's good.
He's decent, isn't he? He's decent for the championship. Look at your fixtures. See if you've got a
Oh, any friendlies? Yeah.
Yeah, see if you've got any friendly arranged.
Yeah, we'll do. Yeah, there's no way.
Oh no, that's
No,
alright.
no
Oh, you've got
friendly.
West Brom. West Brom
I know.
first game.
West Brom, the first game.
Oh yes, he's accepted. First sign in. He's alright. He'd do well. He'd be alright in midfield.
Look at all these. Oh, Suarez transfer offer accepted from Strasbourg. Richie, I'm not going to get him. It doesn't look like. Fleming.
Oh, he sold his first player. Well, you got a few.
Well, it's not like...
You sold a player to River Plate from Hull.
Oh, but
Oh, we're not getting Wilfred. We ain't getting Wilfred Boney then, are we? Who's this? James Brown. He can sod off. Aidan O'Brien. Oh God, what happened then?
Sorry, I'm just I'm moving the mouse. Sorry.
I think you moved the mouse and it shot my negotiation up to the double the price.
Oops. That bankrupt you.
He's worth $500,000. I want 10 mil for him. Oh God, no. Let's get some cash in. This first bit is just like trying to assemble a team, innit?
Yeah, definitely.
It's like trying to get rid of. Oh, I should have negotiated for a bit more.
1 second, I'm going to put some background music on. Yeah.
Have I got any fixtures? Oh no, I won't be able to. We need to get Dan Bull on, don't we?
Yeah,
he loves this game. Me and him used to play it all the time.
We just need the music like quiet enough. There we go. I think that's. Is that better, guys? Hopefully that's not going to be too loud.
Oh, Jay, look, Shane Long accepts Hull offer.
No way. No way am I going to sign Shane Long.
Right at the top of your news there.
Hang on, let me put that.
He said he can't wait to be managed by
That's
Jason Rollins.
ridiculous. If I get Shane Long, Bobby McKenzie. Nah, that's rubbish. McGinn rejected. Yeah, there's no way.
He's worth $5 million. You offered him at 1.5.
No, I can't believe that, Shane Long.
This game that we've got it patched to, the prices are about 10 times less than like nowadays prices.
1 million for Shane Long.
Yeah, it's because everything's like in proportion to back then. So that's like paying 10 mil for him now.
Funes Mori's come back with an offer contract for Monterrey. Ah,
well, you're not getting much money now that you've signed.
He's a forward, mate.
Jay, look how much money you've got because you just spent. You bought Shane Long.
Yeah. I'm going to be in debt, aren't I, very soon?
You do this all the time. Try and buy off the world and got no money.
Magic, yeah, that's fine. I just need to sell a few more of my dead weights and it'll cover the cost. It'll be fine, don't worry.
What's this? I need a left back. You've got the best one in the bloody championship. Who's this? Big sale there. Oh my God.
Jay's like this in Call of Duty and FPL. He just goes all in. Yeah.
Yeah, you do, don't you? You're like, I remember once when I was like, right, he's got about 10 mil to spend, and I looked at your future transfers. It said 140 million in future transfers. And I was like, what's he doing? Right. Let's have a look how much you got.
I'm fine, mate.
You got 1.5 in the bank.
Yeah, I told you I'm fine. Don't worry. It's the wages that'll kill me. That'll be the only thing.
Skip this.
Yeah, I can't really get Darlo now.
We just need to continue, really. Get a few more. Who's this? A few more sales. Oh, that's good. Get to the games. Okay. Whatever. Oh, whatever. He's dirt cheap in here. Final offer. Oh, yeah, I can cancel some of these now. Yeah, whatever. Oh. 250. Oh. I'll do. Oh, there we go.
An offer. Oh,
So you got
wow.
somebody's bid for Harry Potter. Oh.
Why is it not letting me? Right, let's do that. Bamford? No. Lewis Potter. That'll help me. Look at that. He's
$500,000 for that.
He's rubbish.
He's awful.
I'll definitely sell
Yeah,
that.
sell for that. Oh, good.
Bamford, though. No way I'm going to get him.
Don't need him.
Not now.
You just signed Shane Long.
Kenzie. There we go.
There we go. Oh, whatever.
Hey, Zimmy, what's going on, man?
There we go. I have no players left. Oh, skip that.
Dekavi.
Have any of the others? Oh, what are you doing? You don't need him.
Adama. I would love him.
Have any of the others in chat, Jay, said they played this?
Yeah, I think Wiz has played it. Lama's played it. I think Chris in St. Louis said that he's played back CM 97-98. JC in chat says it brings back memories.
Wait till we get a game going.
I know.
We get beat when you get beat 5-0 by West Brom.
We'll get all the action started.
Get a goalie sent
Contract
off
to Paul Nevin from Hull has been finalised.
Who's this?
Who's this guy? What? Oh
Coach.
right, yes, coach, isn't it? Oh right, okay, yeah, get him in.
He's awful, isn't he?
No, he's alright.
Look at his coaching staff.
He's got great motivation and man management.
He's a scout, isn't he? Judging player potential, judging player ability.
Lewis Potter to Middlesbrough.
I thought you were selling for $500,000 a minute ago.
Eh?
Oh,
No, it was a different player, wasn't it?
No, it was him. Look, because the
The
values
other one
are-
must have hadn't gone through then. He must have not accepted terms.
It's because
Should have, yeah, he rejected the offer from Luzern. I should have, oh well.
Should
Should have rejected
cancelled
the other one, yeah.
Who's this? Harvey Bradbury. Oh my god, that's a good offer, that. Let's give her that one.
Here we go.
I'll have to have a look at my FPL side as well this week, because if I've got 2 transfers now,
Yeah.
it's hard to decide who to do.
I need to
isn't
quickly
it?
just sort this out as well for tactics. What was it? 5-3-2,
No,
4-3-2. Yeah,
Yeah, go on view marking.
yeah,
Put 2 centre backs man marking.
yeah. That's it.
Yeah, that's about it.
Cool. Yeah.
Who's this?
O'Brien, eh? For 875.
I'm not buying him, he's going. Who's that? Oh, physio.
Get a decent assistant manager.
Just sorting my backroom team
But
out.
does an assistant manager not do anything unless you put your team on holiday, Pete?
I've got no assistant manager at the moment, so I need one. I've got another physio in now. No, they do, because on the training when you go coaches, he'll be on there and you can
Right,
get him.
okay.
You can get him to coach or do tactics or anything.
Hey, I know.
You tried signing Julian Lescott, did you? Oh, coach.
He's the coach. I mean, he's He's alright. He's alright, but
I won't bother with him.
Hazard's
What?
rejected, mate.
That's not for me.
I know, he's rejected all the people.
He's rejecting everyone because he's like, I can't wait to go and work with Pete.
I can't wait to be in the championship.
Can't wait to get relegated with Milwall.
Yes, Funes Mori.
No, you don't need that.
That's all my budget gone on 2 players.
Yeah. You'll get to... Who's this? Rennie Ponk? He's decent. Oh, what? Must have 5 coaches already. Dreadful. He can go. He's alright. Oh god, look at his discipline there. Oh dear.
He's awful, yeah.
Who else we got? Oh god, he can probably go. Oh, right, I've got 3 spaces now. Ponk.
Morrison accepts Millwall offer. What? You're
Who's
saying...
this? Oh, I bid for him as well. Oh yeah.
Oh
me.
yeah.
Told you.
Oh, I won him. Oh, that's a
That
lot of money.
Morrison's
That's a lot of
I want to
money.
go and play for a good manager.
That's a lot of money, that is.
It's not that Funes Mori that used to play for Everton though, the centre back. It's like a different one, a striker, isn't it?
Yeah. God, you've got Morrison.
He's not that good. He's 33. He's got good reflexes, so I can put him in goal. Who's this?
I think once I sign that Mori, I'm just going to be done then. Well, that's if he accepts. Oh, Fostieri. I don't need him now.
No.
Kingsley rejects contract. Oh, he's a quality.
Just offer him when he started playing a few games. If you offer him a contract,
Yeah, there's no point yet.
Glenn Johnson. Oh, his coach.
He's not very good.
These coaches you bid for, did you even look at the stats?
No, well, I must have looked at the coach, and I didn't bring these up. Yeah, Christos, get him in.
No. Have you looked at your current coaches?
Yeah, they're not very good. I sacked one of them.
You don't need judging player ability that much for a coach. It's more like one of the scouts stats.
Yeah, none of them are any good.
Oh no!
Oh my god.
Working with youngsters free.
9. Oh, I might as well just keep him on at the moment and then just get...
Yeah, you'll get some more in a minute.
Well, will I though? I need to bid on them first. We don't need all these.
Take judging player ability off. Oh yeah.
I'll do.
Oh god, some of them have got weird stats. Who's this? Oh, another physio. Do you remember years ago on this when you like randomly offered Cristiano Ronaldo a contract when you were Sheffield United?
Yes, and he
then it come up to
accepted.
me when-
I signed
when
Cristiano Ronaldo.
accepts. You're like, hey.
It was unbelievable.
That's one of the weirdest transfers I've seen on this. Look, oh yeah, who's this? Nope. I sent one of my scouts out. Oh god. Fran Karacic used to be a good right back actually.
Anime Manager game from 2000 onwards. I didn't play Anime Manager, did you, Pete?
No.
No.
I think I might have tried it. We used to just love this game because it's like not too complicated, but it's like
It's easy to. Well, it's just. I don't know.
it's quick and like. There is some. Like,
you get through seasons
complex
really
bit.
quickly on this.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, once we've got through this, I got Plymouth.
Once we start the games will come thick and fast, won't they?
Oh my God, you got Newport. Mind you, I've got Plymouth. I didn't realise Plymouth in Division 3 now on this. God, I'm just selling all my players here. I've got no one in. But I know I got a couple. Yeah, I got a few in. I know 500k in. Got 2 mil out. That's right.
Who's Fetis trying to go after Fetis?
Everyone wants that Hazard. He's not that good. Look at that River Plate signed one of your Elliot Bonds.
Why would they sign him?
Oh God, who have you got? Is that? Oh, it's coach.
He's alright.
Does he speak English?
Yeah, no. he will do in a few months.
Running around the training ground making noises.
It's like, yeah.
That's the problem on this game when you do that and you don't realise, and then the next minute you're like, why is my team playing so badly? And then you notice that you've gone and signed a load of
coaches are like that.
Coaches that can't speak a word of English. And you're going, I'm putting a really good team out every game. I don't understand it. Oh, he is. Brock Lesnar.
Brock Lesnar.
Oh, God, I've only got one goalie. I better have a look, actually, see what I've got in the reserves. Bloody hell. 800k.
Attacking midfielder. He's got some good stats.
Yeah, look at his stamina.
Yeah, but he's got a lot. He's got flair 14, passing 13.
He's alright.
Off the ball's good.
His determination 3 and stamina 8. He's gonna be a lazy player, isn't he?
Yeah.
Do a
months,
coach.
No way.
Do a coach report on him. I bet it says go on. Yeah, request coach report. Do all of them.
Oh right, okay, yeah.
Yeah, click on all of them. If you highlight all of them and see what it says, I bet it comes up and says something like.
The guy that can't speak English is like. Oh what?
Yeah, you got 5 coaches, I think now, haven't you?
Oh, he's good.
Oh no.
He's good.
He's got really weird stats. Look, level of discipline 2. Working with youngsters 3.
Let's get him in. Oh, John Beale's awful.
Wait a minute, you've got 3 coaches there, so it must be a different position you've offered him.
No, it's definitely.
I know you've got 5. Yeah. Yeah. You've literally just signed him a minute ago.
I know. John Beale.
Now you're like,
John Beale.
This rubbish coach I've got.
What am I offering him a new contract? Right, let's go for this.
Come on, Rob.
Eh? Okay, let's see what they're saying about him.
What does it say? Like,
an important role, confident presence of the first team is a great benefit.
Oh, maybe he is. He might
Important
be
role. I want 20 million for him.
Sometimes it comes up when they've got like low stamina and low determination, and it says, "Oh, they're unprofessional" or something.
One sec, let me close this down. There you go.
What? I'm not getting him. That Connor Hazard's still going on.
Boney, he's gone to Leon.
Oh, neither of us got Wilfred Bonny. Could have got him back to his...
I wonder how many goals Shane Long's going to score for me.
What's this? Bloody hell, sell him. Oh, that's actually, I've got to check. We've got a, oh yeah. Oh my god, look at my sub goalie. There's positioning 6.
You wouldn't want to even sub him on.
The positioning 6, he's going to get lobbed every second.
Morrison's got a better.
In a minute, I'm just going to have to find another goalie. When I got some funds in. See, when you first start it, there's like we've got 0 reputation as a manager almost. So we've got to build that up. He's alright, isn't he? Why does it come up on yours?
Oh, it's a lot of money. Who have I got there in the midfield position? Let's have a look.
Is he in your starting? Oh, you haven't put your team together yet, have you?
Yeah, no, it's.
You probably want to put your team together so you can see where if you've got any spaces where you need to fill.
Right, so let me quickly just get this right. So long. Oh no, what? It's the wrong. Flex is 14. 13, long in goal. Ingram sub goalkeeper. Kingsley left back. Right back. This and
Are you getting any of the others on Jay whilst we're playing?
what do you mean?
Like some of the others that talk about FPL to chat whilst we're
We
playing.
need to go into Discord to do that.
Oh, I do.
Yeah. I'll load up Discord now. If anyone wants to come and jump in, I'll just be on Discord. You can.
Yeah,
load
they
it.
can talk about FPL as well, can't they?
Yeah, yeah.
Ah. Bowen.
Just won the League Cup with the Hammers. Defoe in the 90th minute with a winner.
I remember when you won the quadruple with Real Madrid years ago on it.
Oh, that's a long time ago, yeah.
Oh, he's 31, Grzycki. I didn't even know he was that old.
Milinkovic?
He's alright. I don't even think you need that Torrell, to be honest. Because you got Henriksen, Bowen.
Oh, Lopez isn't that great, is he?
No. Get another 800k for him.
Now I've signed Long, I don't think I need.
Let's have a look at Long then.
Hang on.
No, average. Average. Average.
God, 850k is worth. Long's alright.
Yeah, he's better than all your ST strikers.
Torrell's not worth. I don't think he's like essential.
No, I'd get rid of him.
Left, Bowen can go on the left, can't he? Bowen, Grzycki, Henriksen.
Yeah, Henriksen's good.
Why is he unhappy? No!
Oh. Go on contract. Go on his contract. See what his Oh, you've got him as a backup. Sort of set him as like indispensable or something, and he might.
He might change his mind.
When he gets playing, he'll change his mind. If you get promoted this season.
Who do I play with? Long.
You playing 2 strikers, are you?
Yeah.
Or you gonna play one just off?
Yeah, I'm gonna probably just play one off like that,
Yeah.
and then have Long up front.
That Milinkovic is quite good, isn't he?
It's a passing 12. Passing 12.
Yeah, it's championship. We might get away with it. You'll probably sell him halfway through the season and replace him.
Let's go look at my subs then. So he's left back. Pennington on loan from Everton. He's alright.
He's not bad. Good sub. Irvine. Let's have a look at Irvine.
Irvine.
Look at his stamina. What is the matter with all the whole players? They've got like 6 7 stamina.
It's like, I don't even like rate him at all. So he's
Got weird
listed,
stats here.
He's listed anyway.
You listed all your reserves? Oh no, you got loads not listed. You got
Yeah.
Tafazzaroli or whatever his name. Never heard of him.
Actually, look at that.
Just slow, isn't he? 7 pace, 7 acceleration. You get done over. Look at the blue ones, Jay. The dark blue ones. They're your players, I think. Yeah, they are.
On loan.
No. Yeah. Oh dear.
For Life Spartans, he's playing for.
Get rid of him. He's alright.
Wait, what?
He's not that bad.
He's better than what I've got.
You've got about 5 strikers up in your first team at the moment, though. You might as well get him back, haven't you? Yeah. He's not worth anything.
Might as well have him as a backup.
Indispensable.
Indispensable, yeah. It's probably like an important first team player.
He's loaned out, backup, and you just change that.
In squad rotation, there we go. I'll give him one more. Terrell, yes. Right, carry on. Let's go. Hey Zahope, how you doing, man?
Another player gone. I'm not getting much for him though. Oh my god, what's this?
Hey?
Look at all these bids, Jay.
God. Oh, you know what? I'm just going to accept one of them.
You can get all this money in and get John McGinn.
No way.
I'm rejecting this for no reason. What on earth?
Fosteri. What's this? Forestieri?
Liverpool.
What? Liverpool are signing him.
Liverpool beat you to the player, mate. Liverpool are like, he can go on the bench.
What?
Look at all these bids. And you could probably ask for a load more, like 1.3 or something for this player.
If you want
Yeah, try one. You might as well try 1.5, hadn't you? 5 of them battling for him. Is he that good?
No. He really isn't that good.
I think it's probably because he's got jump in 18. He's just going to be like...
What? How many people want him?
Going to be doing like Ronaldo leaps every second.
Mansfield Town. Oh, he's rubbish.
Yeah, get rid of it. You've got to think, like...
He's valued at 825.
We're trying to build to win the Premier League, aren't we? So they're not going to...
Yeah.
Long term, they're no good. Oh, that's decent money. Right, when's the next game then? 14 days, oh my god. Barely got a name on the end. You can... Oh yeah, I've got James Morrison and Cabano. Alright, let's have a look. Jed Wallace. Thompson Mahoney.
My coach has got 2 weeks to learn English.
I'm going to get Morris. Who's the one I just signed? Cabano.
Neeskins Cabano.
No concern. Oh, I didn't want to do that.
Oh, right, okay. Oh, this is important, this is.
Oh, yeah. Right, I just need to... Look at... Did you see the size of my squad then? Oh, no.
Sold too many players.
I sold loads, I know. Oh, wow, 8. They haven't got a very big squad automatically, I don't think, because what have I brought in? Yeah, I've lost 5 players out of my squad. It's the goalie I need. I've got money now, but I don't want to do it. Oh, 6 mil now. What should I do, Jay? Mahoney. I'll just these players. I'm going to use them off the bench for the minute. The 2 new ones until they settle in. They're good.
Yeah, it makes me wonder if I should play Shane on the first game.
Hey,
Nick Pope's
Pope?
interested.
What stats has this got in it? Oh,
Passing for you.
playing. Yeah, but it's, I do need a goalie to. I wasn't that bothered about a goalie that can pass the ball though. Nick Pope. Why is he interested? They're a bit much, these. Lossell. He might come though, because it says one's first team football. Get him half the price. Watch this, right? Agility, positioning, reflexes.
Long shots.
Yeah, right. What else do we want? Handling. Probably anticipation. There we go, 10 players. Let's have a look at the cheapest. 40-year-old? Nah. Look at MJ, 42.
42-year-old goalkeeper. He's alright, isn't he?
I bet everyone's trying to get him.
Yeah.
I've never heard of all.
Quite a lot of people wanting to get him.
Approach the sign. I don't know, I could get him on a year
I think that's a bargain, that is.
I'm just going to try and get him on a year. No. If I bid for 2, that'll do. Pantilimon.
I remember that. We used to have him.
He's better than he is in real life. I don't think he's dodgy in real life, isn't he? Let's try and get him dirt cheap from Forest.
Where does Zoe play for in real life?
Oh, I like Darlow actually. But you bid for him and they rejected him.
I tried to get him.
Watch this. Oh, can't. They won't loan him. Nyland. I'm gonna have to wait. I don't think there's enough. I can't. I could get Dubravka. What? Let's go for. That's a bit of money, that. Right, I'll do. Loads of money in for Jay.
Well, I won him 1.5 million really.
He's only worth 800, isn't he? Or 8. I think you negotiated right up for that. And you sell him eventually. Go on then. Hey? That seems a bit. I can't. Why is it not? He's worth 1.1 and they've offered me 300k. Nah.
Is he really worth 1.1 though? That's a question you got to ask. Dubravka wants first team football. What's the other goalie do they have?
Oh,
Alexander Todorov wants to know who's the Newcastle's sub goalie? Why is Dubravka not getting first team football?
It's because they got that other one that you just bid for. Oh, it's 4 stars better than. 4 stars better than what I've got.
Nyland.
No. I'll get him up in a minute. I'm just going to get this. I'm going to get him in. It's going to cost me 2 mil. But I think it's worth it. England, Newcastle got that. They've got a few, haven't they?
Darlow.
Woodman. Yeah, they've got Darlow. Who's bidding for him? Oh, I'm trying to get both their goalies at once. So they got Rob Elliott. Sign him. And they got that Woodman.
There's no way that he wouldn't be first team goalkeeper Dubravka.
Not anymore, no.
Milwall's going to get Dubravka. No way.
Do you think I should get him?
No way. Yeah.
A good goal, isn't he?
Yeah. For
Work rate 1.
1.7 million. Work rate 1.
No, I'll sign him. I think. I need a good goalie because I can't be going into the season. Watch Dubravka get sent off first game of the season.
Can't believe that. 1.7 for a Premier League goalkeeper. What's this?
Yeah, but you look meat sheaf.
Meat sheaf. Oh god!
Come on, sell him, Joe.
It's quality. I don't know what about.
Nothing for him.
They want to buy him for nothing.
I'll take you off. I'll take it off your hands.
Oh my god!
I'd still take that. It's double what they offer, double his value. Oh yeah, Mark, you can cancel the 6 month one now.
Yeah.
God, look at all this.
Look at this. Crazy.
You can sign Romero in a minute.
Romero.
I bet Romero, he'll come up on here and it'll say, once first team football after a bit.
Milwall get Dubravka. Darlow's rejected. Shall I buy Darlow?
He's not as good though. He is alright, but
Yeah, I'm gonna find a goalkeeper. Sorry, that is just ridiculous that you signed such an
that's
amazing.
a good signing. That
Right, so on reflexes 15, decisions 15, balance, agility, bravery. No way I'm gonna get this guy. Anticipation 15, position 15. Nick Pope.
no. If you get Nick Poe, he'll do you for next season as well when you get promoted.
There's no way he's gonna come to me, dude. Darren Randolph, look at him.
He's alright. Soft for a bit, is he?
His stats are too high. His stats, they're like.
Darren Randolph's just signed for West Ham, hasn't he? I think in real life.
Has he?
I think he used to play for him, didn't he? He left and then he's gone back.
Nyland's pretty good.
Yeah, he's got 16 reflexes. Yeah, do you need me to load up Discord, Jay?
Yeah, come in, jump in Discord. Hey guys, how's it going?
Yeah, good thanks, Fitz.
What did I win? Oh yeah!
Right,
Oh no,
Yeah,
I've
just
got it
jump.
installed on it.
Jace, do you want to play COD or you?
I will be on later on, dude. Brew, by the way, Brew, you missed. I don't know if you spoke to Guna, but do you know when you went away? I wiped about 6 players out. There was a team in the hangar, and they were looting some bodies, and they were all grouped up. So through the Molotov, or no, the stick grenade with the flames on it, and I literally just burnt them and like mowed them down with the M4. And then another team came and I mowed them down as well. It was insane. It was like I wish I was streaming it because I definitely would have clipped it. But of course you went AFK. But Guna saw it though, and he was like, "What the hell?" Anyway, but yeah, we'll play some more later on, man. Definitely, 100%.
Jay, is that you loading it up?
If you add me on WhatsApp, because I probably
in the middle of the screen
muted it.
Okay, mate. Yeah, cool. I will do. I'll add you on WhatsApp and I'll send you a message when I'm free, dude. Yeah, be awesome to play later on.
Right, sure.
Cheers, dude.
No.
Pete, have you found the Discord? Have you downloaded Discord yet?
I just tried and it said, oh, here we go.
Are you speaking to Jason?
I'm speaking to Pete. I'm streaming at the moment on Championship Manager on YouTube.
Oh, you're streaming?
Yeah, streaming at the moment, yeah.
On YouTube, is it?
Yeah.
What team are you, Jason?
I'm playing as Hull, and Pete's playing as Milwall. And we're trying to win the championship to get us into the Premier League. And he's currently signed Dubravka, and I've signed Shane Long. It's like that's the 2 marquee signings that we've got so far.
We've sold half of our squad.
Oh, I've got a contract offer for Nyland, Orjan Nyland from Aston Villa.
Compare him to
I've made 2 transfers last night.
your goal you got, really.
Hell yeah!
He's decent actually.
I figured out a way to switch.
It's gonna be better than that long.
With
Oh my
on my
God, yeah, way
phone.
better.
All right, I'm going all in again, Phil.
Hang on a second.
Dre, you're live on YouTube now.
Yeah,
by the way.
1 second.
Four
Yeah, I'll go on there. Hang on 1 second, Pete. 1 second. Guys,
Hello.
I'll just move out the channel and yeah, speak to you in a bit. Right, here we go. Right, let's move into that channel there. Oh, 4 stars better. Wow,
You need that.
definitely.
You don't want that much either.
I'll probably pay him a little bit more. There we go.
I need to get on Discord. Does it tell you my Discord name? It's saying no username. I haven't used it for.
Yeah, you need to.
Can you find it out? It's because I bought a new PC, haven't I? And I've not reinstalled.
I don't know what it is. It'd be your normal. Yeah. I've got him.
Oh, decent.
That means I can sell
One of them two.
Ingram.
Here we
And
go.
probably, yeah. He's
Just
got-
I'd list them both, I would, and just see which sells first. Neither of them are good enough for the Premier
that's
League.
awful. Oh yeah, transfer bid again for Hazard for your
Oh no, my left back's injured. Start of the season, I probably haven't got 2 left backs at the moment. Should have spent a lot longer getting it prepped, really, but oh no.
This season is just about getting a decent league position anyway, and trying to get a decent amount of money in from the cup. Pete's like, no, I'm going to win the
Yeah,
championship.
no, and I don't think we got. You look at the championship, we probably like squad
Leeds.
wise, Fulham's like
Fulham,
Mitrovic.
Leeds.
Mitrovic is going to be
Yeah,
quality.
Mitrovic. Oh, he's not that amazing.
He's got some good. He's just going to batter him with
Yeah,
his strength,
he's a bully, isn't he?
jumping, bravery. He's got 4 in pre-season. Knockout might be alright. We haven't got. I've still got Seri.
Seri, yeah.
That camera. Yeah, they've probably got some. They're going to be right up there, I
Right,
think.
come on then.
Leeds.
Let's get to the first game.
We've got 10 days, haven't we? Oh, you don't need. What have you got in the bank now? Let's have a look.
Yeah, I'm really got to be careful.
Still got a mil.
Yeah, I know, but still got to be careful there. Get a couple of more sales in just to prop up my bank balance.
What's he come in for? Oh my god.
Pete's like, I don't have to think about him.
He's a quality coach. Look, he's got maximum
Yeah,
stats.
he's maximum stats and the outfit players. Oh my god, come on!
Liverpool.
What the hell?
Liverpool are like see potential in him.
Oh yeah. What?
Awful.
Oh, come
Why?
on.
Come on, yeah. He can go. God, I've not brought in enough players here. But yeah, he's a weird one. Oh, it's influence. I don't really need influence. No. Nope. Who's here?
Scalax going to Victoria Plitzen, wherever it is.
He can go. Confederations Cup. Oh god, we'll have a game in a minute.
Board confidence update. Looking forward to a long and successful era.
Look at that!
Henriksen.
He shouldn't be a member of your squad.
What? God.
It's because he went out last night, he's seen the coronavirus thing, and he was like, right, I've got one night to go
Oh
for
wow. Right. If he's going, I need a replacement for him.
No, you don't.
Midfielder,
You
right
selling him?
centre. Yeah, I'm gonna have to because he's not happy, is he?
How much do you want?
Oh.
150k. Well, I'm gonna try and.
He's like looking at players on Google. Oh yeah.
Cheat codes for Championship Manager 0102. No, no. I'm gonna try and log into Discord.
Oh, God.
Bloody hell, he's well good.
I know.
So I need to get signing some players.
No way.
God. Look at Hertha, Berlin, Villarreal, Shanghai.
He's rubbish. He's unhappy for not being allowed to move clubs.
You don't need another goal here, do you? We've only got till 31st of August to sign players, so let's see what we can get in before.
Eh?
Oh, there's another good offer. Average.
Yeah, but isn't he he's like he's a defender that I want to use.
You got him transfer listed?
No,
Oh, is he not? Oh,
no.
it's because he's on backup. Yeah, he's happy to stay now.
I can't afford to.
Yeah, you don't need to sell him. Oh, what is happening with this Hazard?
Everyone's bidding.
still going.
Everyone's bidding loads of rubbish offers. Yeah, go
Everyone's
for it. Yeah.
fighting for him, and they're like, I'm not stumping up more than 40k.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, Wallace, I need you back.
Who's this?
Was it your goalie? Oh dear. I don't want you getting him, really. Recommended player.
De Bruyne.
Yeah, isn't it? De Bruyne. Get De Bruyne in. He's not that bad, actually. What? Fulham have offered. No way can I be losing him. They want £12,000 in compensation. Oh God, I've got Sheffield Wednesday away. I could play him. I probably should have stopped. Look at my right back. He's not that great. 7 heading, 9 jumping. A bit worried about him.
He just plays the Trent role though. You're fine.
None of these are good enough.
Get him running up the field.
Yeah, that Cooper is all right. Get what?
Get him running up the field. You don't need him jumping.
Where's that Leonard? Look at my defensive midfielder.
He's alright.
There's so many 10s.
There are a lot of 10s.
I need defence really, but we're not going to get him. Just quick look for somebody that's interested, someone that can pass and tackle. Where's tackling?
Nick Pope.
Nick Pope.
Nick Pope.
Nick Pope. Get him in.
Get him in
defensive.
centre back. Train him a new position centre back.
Don't need a centre back. What's the same one? Oh, it keeps. Who's this? Kim Do Young. He's better right back than I've got, I think. Yeah, it's game in. I need someone like that. I don't know. Hopefully get a work. I don't need a work permit, hopefully. Sorted. I wish I had the left back you got. Look at that.
Mendy.
Some of them are getting like, because we've gone like a few weeks in,
Yeah.
they've been like, they've probably had like the chats with the manager and it's gone, no, I don't want you anymore. And now they're coming up interested. Oh, I don't want these, that'll do. I didn't think they'd accept that. I just went in cheap, right, let's compare him to Leonard.
He's better than Leonard.
He's better than Leonard, but he's got like a few...
5 stars better.
It's just that, he can't jump, so he's going to get out-jumped all the time. Are you doing something? Well, let me... I'll get him in now, I'll have him... Oh god, no, I don't know. This is risky, this. Offering him a contract, non-promotion release clause. If I don't get promoted, he can leave for 5 mil.
What?
Who's this you bid for? It's quite good. You must. Oh, you sold that player for 2 mil, didn't you?
Yep. Nice.
That's good, so I can relegate. Pace 10. I don't like these really slow players. Watch this Mendy be injured now. Just signed him quick.
God, yeah, Mendy injured for 6 months. God, that'd be... Oh, God. Just go.
Oh god, we got a game in a few days.
I need a drink, one sec.
Who's that? Oh, he's a bargain. I'm just going to check Mendy's not injured. Right.
What was that?
Oh.
Finally.
Oh my god, that took ages.
Finally got rid of him.
No, I got him.
Well, Hazard?
Yeah.
I thought you were trying to sell him.
No, he's a young goalie I wanted to
Oh,
get.
right, okay. Oh, yeah, he can go.
Here he is.
The young goalie you're trying to sign. Oh, right, okay.
Oh, work permit's probably not going to get that. Yeah, he's alright. He can go in the reserves now, I think. You can train him through. Right.
That's one hell of a team. Mendy, Dubravka.
No, I don't like the back four. And I need another midfielder, really.
Who's this
Mahoney's
Bob
more of a-
Varson? Look at this.
Bob, I like
Look
Bob
at this.
Varson.
Passing 10. Not so good.
Passing 10. Look at this, passing 10. Yeah, he's staying.
Here we go.
Oh, no.
Go on, Sheffield Wednesday away.
Do you want to play yours first?
No, you go.
I don't want to play this. Oh, God. Right, just a minute. It's whether I
I
start
thought you set your
rowing.
team up.
I have, but I've not. It's whether I play.
God, what quality centre back he is.
Look how slow he is.
It doesn't matter. You don't need pace.
Yeah, but I've got this guy. He's an unknown. Let me just check him. He's not the same. I don't like Hutchinson, but I'm going to have to give him a go.
Hutchinson's
Right.
better, I think.
Yeah, alright. And I've got Cabana and Morrison to come on. He's either for Morrison. Yeah. Do you know what? I might take off Mahoney actually. Wait a minute, what's Morrison's set pieces? No. Cabano. Oh yeah, I'm starting Cabano instead of him. Cabano. That's it. Right. What speed are we going to put it on?
We'll put it on very fast. We'll get through the games.
We've got a tactics set. Let's try defensive direct first. My striker, have you seen him?
Yeah,
7, he's got
good
no-
jumping, can score a few headers.
Yeah, that's, I'm going to try direct. Oh, kicked it off by accident. Oh. Come on. Oh, he's
Smith.
missing them all.
Oh, Dubravka with a save.
Oh, I can't keep missing these chances.
God, put.
Goal! Oh, I knew it. Let's go normal. This might take us a while to settle our teams, might it?
Oh, Smith
It's the
again.
top of the bar.
Smith scores. Oh, Mr. Disallowed. Where's VAR when you need it, mate?
Another
Smith is
save.
having a worldie. Everything's going through
They're going to
Smith.
score again. Yeah, I knew it.
Dubravka's not having a good game.
No.
Oh, he's on 7.
He'll be settling in. Let's just change it. I can't do anything now, really.
Oh,
Clear off
Smith.
the line.
Smith or Wallace.
Right, so that's working. Let's go back to direct. The thing with this hard mode is every time you score, the game reacts and changes its tactic to counter yours. So that's why we have to keep switching. Oh no!
To find the right.
Don't.
Oh my life.
Look at that.
Yeah.
I'm pummeling them. Well, not pummeling them, but I'm playing better. Look at my defence. I've got a rubbish defence. Right, let's go back to. The mixed seem to be working. Who's that? Cabano. No, he's alright. Bob Varson. Oh, this is going to be hard, isn't it? This first bit of the season, just losing until the team. Oh no, he's injured. Who have I got? I'm going to play him there because I haven't really got any. Should we get on it? Let's get him belling it up.
Yeah.
Get my right back. Oh,
No
he's back.
way.
Right,
Morrison.
they'll counter now. Yeah. Oh, they've got, yeah. So they've tried countering it. Come on. Oh, 2 disallowed. I can't believe this.
They're gonna score.
No.
Oh.
What did it say then? They're trying to retain possession now. My striker, I've barely seen his name.
The
Let's
first,
get up here.
first few minutes saw a lot of his name.
Oh, Cabana, you could just. He's playing 7. What Varson?
Bodvarsson.
It's Cabano.
Neeskens
I mean,
Cabano.
I got this Tom Elliott. I could bring him on. He's a bit different sort of striker. He's not great. Let's get him on. I wonder who set the goal up. Matt Smith. Oh, it's just missed him. Uh-oh. Did you see that? Sheffield Wednesday going for all out attack. If I lump it up, I'll try and just sneak a... Have I got anyone else I can bring
Do
on?
a late change, you?
I've got one more sub. I'm going to bring on this guy. Oh, this could mess it up. Oh no!
Oh no! Oh!
Come on!
This is dangerous. This is dangerous.
No! Someone's just give it away.
Wow! How would I? Oh my god!
Look at that!
Only
Just
two more on target though. To be fair.
Too many shots off that. Romeo did alright actually. The right back that I said is terrible.
Oh god! West Brom. This is not a good game to start with.
Home game though. One minute, I'm just going to the toilet. Oh.
See how Shane Long does on the first game. Let's go for it. Oh my god. If I get anything out of this, I'll be well happy. Oh. I've also got a goalkeeper in goal, debuting this game. Oh no! Not much happening in this game at all.
Bloody hell!
Half time,
What's going on here?
what? Nothing happening. It's half time. Shane
Jose
Long has
Mourinho.
got potential foot injury to Shane Long.
Jose Mourinho, yeah?
Great.
Got a goal.
My
I had a
star
goal pass.
player having to come off. Oh, you can't miss! Oh, you know what?
Who's playing in 8 there? Kevin Stewart, your defence midfielder.
De Vries has got a foot injury. Great.
Why have you only got 5 subs?
Well, I'm gonna have to play him on. Let's go. Oh, knew it.
Oh, he's a good player, Krivinovic. Here we go. Here we go. Oh. That centre back of yours is playing. Is he injured? He's got 81%. Oh, you haven't got another. You ain't got a defender on the bench, have you?
No. Oh no. Oh, I've had chances.
Hmm.
Come on.
Can you get a last minute draw? No, they're holding out. Ooh. Top corner. Oh, here we go. 91st minute. No. Oh. Bloody hell. How did they win that? 2 shots.
11 free kicks each team.
Oh, Krivinovic, man of the match.
Great. Started
Yeah.
off with a loss.
Good start for both of us.
Not really.
We need a few more. We've got another like 3 weeks to sign players though. What's this? Sheffield Wednesday match pleases the board. What did it say on yours? It probably didn't say anything.
Come on, carry on.
Yeah, don't. What sort of money have we got? I've got 3 mil. Need a really good centre back, really. If we could get Van Dijk for 3 mil.
Yeah, right.
Look at that, Liverpool Man City Charity Shield.
Hey?
That's better.
That's good. Crazy.
Oh, that's decent. Don't continue too much, Jay. I want to have a look. I want to try and. I really want a centre back. I got torn apart at times. Mind you, I could probably get away with it with that if I can bring that new one in. Oh, I don't know if I need a striker as well. Your game wasn't like loads of shots, was it?
No.
What was that? Oh, was that my scout?
Why not play Football Manager? It's free this week on Steam. Football Manager's not. It's just a bit too in depth, too involved.
Yeah, we've tried some of the.
I mean, we haven't played the new one, have we?
I've played
You haven't played the
God.
2021.
like 2016 one or something. No, yeah, I haven't played the newest one, but I tried playing one that was like 2016, and it was just taking forever to get through the games.
So yeah,
Look,
this
look,
is
that.
pretty quick game to play this.
Yeah, but we need to. The problem is we've only got 14 days before the window closes, and Diego Rico. He's doing my head in on FPL, but he's sat on the bench. Danny Rose. I could just do with it, and my left back's terrible. You got some money on you? You might as well.
Yeah,
Wait a
I'm
minute.
going to go for centre back as well, to be honest with you.
What are you doing? I'm not even finished.
There you are.
Took control of it.
Oh,
You're
look
right,
at
you can have
him.
a left back. You get a left back, nothing else.
Well, I've got. Yeah, I haven't got any real backup centre backs. Wow.
Oh god, Higazi's quality.
Oh yeah.
He's not going to get work permit. Look, he doesn't. Well, he could, but it's unlikely. There we go. He's alright. He's decent. That Hutchinson was probably the best stats. Oh, he's good.
Oh my life. It's alright.
God, I was 2-0 down in my game, wasn't I?
Yes, you were 2-0 down. Gleek!
Oh my god, no way. I'm going for Glick.
No,
It won't be
you would have seen him.
I haven't. You stopped me from looking for a centre back.
Yeah, because you've bidded all the good ones.
I haven't been on one.
Yeah, you are.
Oh, here we go. No. I was going to look for a centre back before you stopped me. I don't think he'd be interested. Right, I'll put stats in as if I would have. I would have put. Maybe strength. Oh, sometimes I go for. Yeah, whatever. 11. Oh, he's there. Oh my god, did you bid for him as well? Yeah, you have, haven't you? God, he's good. I'm not going to bid for all. Oh. Let's have a look at Glit. I've got to go for Glit. Hey? Did you just click? What happened then?
Nothing.
I like Hegazi, but he's injured.
This
4
is
months
fast and
out.
free for more than a week. Yeah. G-Wiz says.
Oh, what? It keeps like. Sometimes I click on something, it doesn't do it. Well, Grant Hanley, I could not have him. It does my head in. Just watching him in the Premier League, I'm like, how is he a Premier League defender? No, I bid for. Oh, there's none. I'll get my game. I'll get my game in a second. No. Pace, acceleration. Why is it doing that? Awful. Daniel Amarte's alright in real life, isn't he? Oh, it's too much. 4 mil. He'd be good for my team, but I wouldn't pay that. So they'd sell him half price. Oh, I've got aggression on. Why have I got aggression for a right back? Oh, that's alright. Whatever. I'll get my game. I'm not going to get anyone in until after the game. Right. View. Average rating. Oh, he played awful. It's his pace. Let's give the other guy a game. Yep. I got Plymouth. Have we got the sound switched off?
Yeah.
Let's try this. Oh my god, one shot.
Dubravka concedes again, 2nd minute.
Dubravka's not settling in very well, is he?
It's going to take a while to settle in. And then he'll be pulling out clean sheets.
I'm a bit unsure of my striker, to be honest.
That's good. That was a good save by Dubravka then. Thing is,
Yeah,
you normally come into the game after the first half.
No, it's not working at the moment.
Here we go.
Nothing at the moment. This is Wigan at home. This is where we need to be getting the points.
Here we go. Oof. Foul.
Oh, this is awful.
Nothing's really happening.
My left back is having a howler. Right, let me think. I'm gonna have to go. I've got to attack this. Let's go back to attacking short. Get him. I like bringing him up. That Cabano's struggling a bit. Right, who's that? Bob Larson. I'll go for. Get him just behind. Oh no, actually no. Get him.
Oh,
Actually,
Cabano fouled.
Oh, double save.
It's going to be 1 goal in this, I think.
I think they're going to get another. Oh, another save. Come on,
Oh,
another save.
another save. The goalies must be on a 9.
This is this hard mode for you. Right, we're playing well, so let's. That's
There
it.
you go. You got the equaliser there.
Sometimes when I was on attacking, I'd change it to defensive. Just come on. Have we got any more subs? Got one more sub. Oh no, no. What's happening? Look at my left back's having a howler here. Get Tom Elliott on.
Oh, he had a chance. He had a chance right at the end.
He had a chance last second, didn't he?
Oh, way at Blackburn. God. He's
Do you feel
awful.
under pressure? Do you feel under pressure, Jay?
No.
Not good enough, that result. I'm having to come from behind every game at the moment.
Oh, here we go. Ooh. God, it's all them.
Here he is, master tactician.
It's changing every 2 seconds.
He's like, no. No.
Oh no, Bowen's injured.
Might need to get a striker in.
Great. Brereton scores.
Oh, Ben Brereton. He's good on here.
Shane Long, where's your hat trick? Yes,
Oh,
there
here
it
we
is.
go.
There's one.
Here we go. The start of the hat trick.
Oh,
Oh,
for
no.
God's sake, Nyland. What are you doing, Nyland?
I think it's our centre backs.
Oh,
Safe hands. Why did you do a sub in the 7th minute? Oh, you got an injury.
yeah.
I thought it was you doing like 3 subs in the first half.
No.
Oh,
Come on. Oh.
you had a couple of good chances there. Oh, another good save. It's about even, isn't it? I think it's like 6 shots each.
Let's go. Let's go. That's indirect. Yes, Guzicki. Oh no, he's disallowed. Milinkovic.
Oh, you got one back?
Come on.
Can he mastermind an amazing
Oh no,
move?
this isn't good. Oh, I pressed the button like ages ago. Right.
It'll be like vote of confidence in a minute.
What am I doing? Honeyman. Let's go.
Come on, Jay.
Happy to defend.
What, in the 6th? Oh, Henriksen was playing a 10. Playing a 10 out of 10 when you subbed him off. He's the one that wants to leave as well. I bet after the game it's going to be like, Henriksen's not happy.
Come on.
Oh, penalty!
What?
Oh.
Look at this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, no way.
Oh, it's just.
That's that hard
It's gonna
mode
be.
for
It's
you.
just gonna be. It's gonna be a horrible season.
Well, I think now we only got 14 days. Can't go the rest of the season. Well, attacker. I got my 2 strikers. Haven't even got anything. Oh, is it Josh Meyer?
Yakumita.
Oh,
This Musette. Oof.
I don't want Lim Musette. He's different. Oh my god, I can't afford that. I like to, oh, non-EU anyway. Carline Grant. De Bruyne.
Poor man De Bruyne.
Hatton Ben Arthur, God, remember him?
Yeah.
I've had him before and it just causes so many problems. It's like he's falling out of this player, he's falling out of this player. There's just no one.
Joe Lolly.
Who's it? Oh, he's one of your reserves.
What is on my reserve? What?
He's like, I'm putting in stats here and it's coming up with a player in your reserves.
My reserve team. What's he doing in my reserves?
I'm not getting a badge. Look, there's just nothing. No one's interested. Oh, great. I'm going to have to just try and do it with... Goalie's fine. Defenders are going to have to be fine. Midfielders... I wouldn't mind someone like Ziyech.
Yeah, right.
Ziyech on it is unreal, isn't he?
Yeah.
Henriksen. I like Bradley Dack in real life, quality, but he won't, I doubt he'll sign. Vrancic. Are you gonna have a look for someone?
See how much money I've got in the bank.
We might just have to try and go till January. Because there's nothing. Oh, I did bid for him a while back. I'll mind him as a sub. Right, whatever. Oh, what about loans? Oh. There's no point in getting him, is there? Who's that? Brandon Parr? No. Nothing. Whatever. I won't be long, Jay. I'm just... Fosu Mensah's on up for loan. I don't think he won't come to... Who's that? Oh, I've just gone on him. Reynoso. Oh, he's alright. Oh, he's Argentine. Won't get a work permit. Yeah. Oh my god, it'd be amazing.
Oh my god, Santos Bohr.
Yeah.
Oh my life.
I can't get him. He's not an EU. No, whatever. Do you want to have a look, Jay, or...? Nope. You've got quite good money though. You could go on tactics.
Hang on a second.
You go on tactics, view average ratings, you can see who's not performing.
What is he? What is he? Why is
Who is this player?
Treated him fairly. You're important.
Feels Grzycki is an important player.
Well, I might just go. Bowen, how long's Bowen out for? Nice try, okay. Let's see what we got. Midfielder. I really like. No way. Oh, it's not interested, that's why.
Oi. What have you found?
No, I didn't. I didn't realise I had it interested off.
You were like that? Why the hell is Bale interested? Gareth Bale, coming my way. Oh God. 2 games, 2 points.
2 games. 1 point.
Both my forwards haven't scored a goal. John McGinn again.
Ain't gonna get him.
Good player. He's not interested in me.
Lansbury. Remember, I had him in my FPL team this year.
He's not bad. Yeah. Not good enough. Do you have Lansbury in your FPL team this year, or was it last year?
It might have been last year, actually.
Do you remember when you had Quaynar?
Colin Quayner.
Huddersfield's Quaynar in there, wasn't it? Douglas Quaid.
Oh my life.
You're joking, he's not interested, is he?
Yeah.
Christian Atsu's not bad either. He's not interested in me. Oh,
Rose?
Danny Rose. Hey, what are you doing, Jay?
Go on.
You're offering him contracts for me. You're like, indispensable. Oh God, look at his wage. That's awful. Look, he's played 1 game for Tottenham and he's had a howler. Let's get him in. How much did you offer?
Hey, Gleek's coming to me.
No, not yet.
Yes.
Did they reject mine?
I haven't seen anything come up.
Hey.
Hey, it's mine, dude. It's mine.
Oh, Rico.
Oh yeah, you can have Diego Rico.
He's a bit weird, isn't it? Like his stats are a bit weird, but I could do with him in. 1.6. That'd be my. Oh, I didn't even mean to do that. Whatever. I can't get back.
Imagine if Adama Traore, if they accept my bid for Adama Traore, that'd be pretty insane.
Oh God.
He's got good all-round stats, isn't he?
Yeah, he just can't jump. I just don't. I'm thinking Rico's better.
Really? Well, yeah, he has. Yeah, probably.
Rico's got. He's got a few really good ones. Like he's rapid. So fullback they're the same, but Rico's also. Yeah, I'd rather get Rico. I think I'll delay this Danny Rose one. Oh, Traore and Atsu.
What?
Adama Traore. They mustn't be playing him at the moment.
Minimum fee? No
Yeah,
way.
they keep asking that from me. You haven't got. Why haven't? I don't think you've got enough money because it's not letting you offer the signing on fee. I don't know what to do with Traore in my team on FPL. He's just annoying. Like when they play that 5-3-2, he doesn't start, does he? Puts Doherty as a wing back.
I know.
You're like, yeah, whatever.
No one's bidding on any of these players.
No, they're seeing how you're getting out, what you're getting out of them, and they're going, I don't want him either. He's wanted.
Hang on a sec.
Oh, what?
McGuinness.
I didn't even get a chance to offer a contract to Glick.
Oh, he's set to come to me.
You skipped my news. Oh
Fi-
God. I didn't realise you bid that much for him. That's why.
Look at that. Influence 20.
Oh, he's a good player. He's definitely a good player.
Now
You
I've
bid
signed
double what I
him.
did. That's a good signing, that. I don't know where he wants to go. Oh, he's on.
I know he's not mine.
Somebody's loaned him to you and you were trying to list him.
No, I was just seeing what I had him as. Right.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, whatever. Oh, it's my back. I can't believe they rejected it and then just.
Oh, now they rejected it. See?
Yeah. I didn't have a chance to react.
No.
800k. He's a good player. A bit old, I don't want him for 4 years.
Swapping for Doherty, says Wiz in chat.
Oh, I love Doherty in. I bet he's good in
No,
this.
instead of Traore.
Let's have a look what Doherty. Wolves, look at that one. Where's Doherty? Matt Doherty. Oh, he's not that great on here. Should be better than that. Oh, he's playing well though. He's played 6 games. Good. He's playing really well. Patricio's amazing. Ruben Neves, one of their star players. Yeah.
Wolves have
What's
got such a
Liverpool?
good team, haven't they?
Look at Liverpool. Where's their star players? Mane, Salah. Oh. 20s, all the Reds. He's amazing. Look at that, he started the season, 2 scored 3. And Mane's probably the same.
It's
Oh,
better.
that's sickening, isn't it? Like, the next one's got to be, yeah, Van Dijk.
Oh my god, that is
That's the
ridiculous.
best, probably the best defender I've ever seen on this game.
Wow.
If we get promoted next season, we've got no chance. Oh, we should have the money for him. I'd get a new right back and a new.
Yeah, Wiz was saying about getting Doherty in your team for FPL.
Oh right, yeah. Well, I've got Jimenez and what else have I got? I've got 3. Yeah, I've got Doherty, haven't I? Yeah, I've got Doherty, Jimenez, and
Traore
Traore.
rejected.
I've still got most of the chips as well, haven't I?
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
only one I
you're
can.
doing really well.
Yeah, I'm like 2000th in the world.
I know.
It's
Oh,
annoying as well because at the beginning of the season I forgot. Oh, Rico, here we go. Beginning of the season I forgot to do transfers a couple of times and I just lost them. I had 2 and it rolled over. And I
yeah, you're having a storm of a season.
I think the difference I'm trying a bit this season. Like the last 4 seasons, I haven't really bothered. I've just been doing it as and when, but I'm trying a bit more this season. I'm trying not to get in those sort of players where they get rotated all the time. You know, like Aguero, he's just too much of a. If he plays, he could get you a massive score.
Yeah.
I'll get Rico, yeah. I'll try and get Kajar as well. Bet this don't go for. Oh god, I can't get all 3. That's so annoying. All 3 except all 3 the same day. Come on. I won't have any firepower, but I'll have great defense. Yes, I got both. All right. Yeah, I'm on FPL. I'm just trying to avoid those sort of players, like like Jesus and Mahrez.
Yeah.
Mahrez would do my head in if I got him in because he's just like.
Look at the people got Sterling in as well. It's like
Yes, like
he's had a real shocker of a season, hasn't he?
he started off with a hat trick on the first game, didn't he?
I know.
First game of the season hat trick. Oh, I might have to promote this guy. Look at my reserves, Jay. On here. I've got nothing. He's going. So he's gonna have to go in the reserves. He's dead weight. I might have to play as Tom Bradshaw up front. Because this Smith's just got nothing in his locker. Oh, Rico! It's Wallace. Look at that, Jay. That's
You
why I got
hoping he
Diego
starts
Rico.
well for you, mate.
Diego Rico. Here he is. Kajar, he's right. He can play on that side of the centre backs. Oh, I'm happy. Bit happy with this. Oh, he's doing alright. How's he doing? Yeah, I'll go with Rowan and Kajar. Hutchinson. Oh, what should we do with him? Whatever. Oh God, what should I do here, Jay? Oh, I've got Shane Ferguson still there. He can go. I'll do. What's my finances like?
Oh my life.
Oh, I've spent everything. You've got some. You've probably got. You still got one
A
and a
little
half.
bit. I've got a little bit of money, but I haven't got enough.
You got like. We've still got a few players. Well, you have. Oh no, you've not got any going out though.
I know. Hang on. Let's just quickly let's see if I can get anyone.
Milinkovic.
Yeah, he was injured, wasn't he?
Oh, he scored, didn't he? Oh, where's my phone actually? Have a look at my FPL team. What's this? Is it loading up? My team. Why does it say? What's happened with Ricardo Pereira? You know, the Leicester right back. Is he
What?
out for the? Has he got a really bad injury?
Yeah, he's out.
Expected back 12th of July. Oh.
God, my left back is awful.
He's not your left back though. You've got an amazing left back, Kingsley.
Yeah, yeah, but the
You sub-
second, yeah.
Second string left back, yeah.
It's worth $1 million though.
Oh, I'm gonna have to take out Ricardo Pereira. I don't even know who to get into that. It's hard to predict.
God, I'd love it if Eves went.
Oh, so they've removed all the fixtures up to game week 35, haven't they, on FPL?
Yeah.
And then 36 is on there though, 2nd of May. So it's hard to, oh God, he's good. Leisner. God, it's like whether you try and predict, if you do go with it, like game week 36 coming back, Man City home to Bournemouth.
Wigan have made an offer for Shane Ferguson.
Here he is. Oh, you told me earlier he was. You were like, he's what? Oh, that's a terrible offer. I'm going to get some. Oh, we've got a cup game
Against Plymouth.
The mighty Plymouth. Morrison can play for Cabano. How's Cabano doing? He's not doing anything yet. Mahoney can play for Bodvarsson. Leonard can play for Mendy. I don't really want to get knocked out of this, but should I give that Hazard a game? No.
Connor Hazard.
This is where we normally like.
He might as well do, because Dubravka's been playing pretty rubbish, isn't he?
Dubravka's nice. Look,
Oh,
in second half he really pulled it back on both games. Oh no. I need to start winning some of it. Right, here we go. Oh no, wait a minute. I'm going to set my tactics so that every time it starts a home game, it goes attacking short. Here we go. Right, I've got a new striker up front now.
you should beat Plymouth, to be fair.
I'm going to try doing my tactic where score the goal. Well, I know when it says defensive, it's not actually like really defensive. It just means that you don't take as many risks. Watch Plymouth fit. Mahoney, come on. That's it. Oh,
So many disallowed goals.
still behind in this. Let's have a look at down here. Morrison, Thompson. Mahoney, that's one of the new players. But right, let's try defensive mix. Sometimes it doesn't work when you do that, but now I'm like, right, I've scored.
Oh.
Take less risks.
They're gonna score, aren't they?
Oh, free kick maybe.
Half time.
Oh, doing alright. Dubravka's doing alright. Who's that? Right. I don't like it when they yellow card like that. Tackling normal. Yeah, put him on easy tackling. Oh, they're just having pot shots from miles out. And I just see. Scott Watten's still playing for Plymouth. Josie Baxter, God, he used to play for Everton. Ben Thompson. Let's get Mendy. Jeb Wallace. Who else we get on? Bod Varson, come on, mate. The triple sub here. Hold out, come on. Call those shots.
Yeah.
Was that
Good win against Plymouth.
Oh yeah. It's alright, I give some
I've
of
got
the
a
subs.
Newport now.
I give a few of the subs a run out. If you lose again, Joe, no way. It'd be like the worst start I've ever seen you have. Newport as well.
Yeah, okay. Oh my God. Good football by Newport. Dicko! Oh.
We haven't played this though for like a year, have we?
Oh, I don't know if I want to go.
7 minutes in, you're questioning your own tactics. It's like, I'm not sure if I've got this right.
No penalty. There we go.
Oh,
Kwasicki!
Good player.
Kwasicki! Get
Signed
another
for
one.
West Brom.
Get another
I
one.
think he signed for West Brom in real life.
You can get another one before half time. This is it. Oh, come on.
Oh. What round is this? Our first round.
God, I'm all over him. Now I'm going to score up now, probably, from one.
We've pretty much spent all our money now though, haven't we? So it's like this. We've got to go this squad for most of the rest of the season. In January, we can have a look, see if we can get any loans in, but that's about it.
Another penalty waved away.
Hmm.
I want Dicko to score so he gets happier.
Oh, here we
De
go.
Lopez, first ever goal.
Who's this?
Let's go.
Is that how you brought him on? Do you remember that time when we were in the Champions League when you played against Liverpool and you got beat 5-0? And you were like, I've had enough of this. And you just walked off and I went, right, I'll play the second leg. And I beat him 6-1, didn't I?
Yeah.
And it went extra time.
Yeah.
I beat him 6-1, and then I took a video of me doing the penalties, and I beat him. I turned around a 5-0 deficit against Liverpool. What team was that with? I think it was Tottenham on it. What team did you have?
God.
Can't remember. Grzycki's playing a 10 now.
Shane Long just hasn't done anything for me.
No. Well, my striker's not scored yet, has he? Neither of them.
Oh, McGuinness.
We need Mitrovic in. Mitro.
Look at this.
Oh, you pummeled him there. Polion. The league, though, I just think we're going to really struggle for about 3 months. Because we've got all new coaching team in, we've got all new players in. Salford. Salford beat Luton.
Who's this?
You're joking. Oh, you won't get him in time. It's got to go through work. Even if it goes through the work permit, I don't think you'll get him in 10 days. Oh yeah. He's awful. Gillingham. There you go. I want that much from now. Oh, here we go.
Charlton. Oh.
I got Charlton. Oh, you're jammy, you are.
Look at this guy.
Yeah, but they all need work permits. We ain't going to get them in time. I don't think they're going to get work permits in time.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't think he
Charlton.
will get a work permit, to be fair.
You could go all the way to the League Cup final, qualify for Europe.
Who?
Oh, he's a good centre-back, isn't he?
Oh,
Really?
yes.
If you've got him alongside Glick,
What?
Milivojevic is like...
Milivojevic has been unhappy with the performance of his teammates.
Click on him. Oh, he's decent, isn't he?
What's the They lost.
They drew.
They won. They won.
Like, yeah, look, he's not happy with that. away at Everton. I'm not having this. I want out of this club.
I'm happy with my centre backs now.
It was just, oh god, Brentford.
And maybe Shane Long wasn't. Maybe Shane Long is just not settling.
Well, I just think sometimes it does that, doesn't it? Like about after January, you suddenly see them all settling. I don't think you've got any money left, have you?
No, I've got no money now.
By the time we get to January, we'll have nothing unless we get a cup run. We'll be in debt. Oh, I might not be in debt.
Oh, look at you.
That's just got me $1 million. I'll probably look at this. Ooh.
You need that just to cover your wages.
Yeah, I've got one. Oh, God.
Wish I could have 1.1 million bid for one hot player.
I might try. My strikers is not good enough. Who's the other guy that just scored? Mahoney just scored.
He's alright.
He's awful.
He's got some interesting stats. He's low. Some of his stats are low.
Odd Barson should be doing better than he is, but I think he's got not good enough, is he? Right, let's go with that then. Morrison, Wallace. Who have we got on the bench? Who did I rotate a minute ago? Oh, Mendy. I want Mendy back in. Yeah. Oh, put that defence in. Don't want. Where's he gone? Oh no, that's right.
Yeah, Mendy's your deep defence midfielder.
Oh, got a game in 2 days. I'm gonna have to road. I'm gonna have to really. Dubravka's captain. Why is it putting Dubravka's captain? Oh yeah, that's right.
Good job.
Sometimes right at the beginning of the season, It's like all the tactics you do, and it just nothing works. It's just because they're settling. But I'll probably go down 1-0 here. I had 2 shots on target already. 3. Come on, team. Oh, Jukovic. Tries his luck, it's the bottom of the post. Got any good players? Stockdale. I can't do anything, Nick. Because you're doing something, it's not letting me move.
Sorry, dude.
Oh, what an exciting first half that was. God.
Let me just turn my microphone down 1 sec. Yeah, it's well high.
Stockdale.
There you go. Sorry.
They're all playing rubbish. I can't. Oh, yeah, here we go. Morrison. Oh, he's injured. Let's get on. Cabano. Oh no, actually, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to stop doing that. I'm going to start getting Rico bombing forward because he's so fast. He's got good set pieces. I should have changed the tactics actually.
Birmingham are a good team.
Yeah, but if we're going to get promoted, oh, that was dangerous. Someone's injured, I think. Not him. No, he's alright. Oh no! That was dodgy. Right. No, come on! What's it doing?
Yeah, it's like no.
Should I try and...
Bring Smith on.
I can't get...
Boston. Oh.
Come on, win the ball, win the ball. No.
Oh my god, that would have... No way,
Come on,
no way.
come on, come on. Oh, over the bar.
Final seconds of the game.
3 draws in a row. It's not the worst.
Oh, I need to win this game. Get in there, Milinkovic. Wow, Milinkovic is crazy.
Oh, look at this.
Milinkovic, mate. It's all about Milinkovic. Remember Milinkovic Savage?
Yeah, he's quality. That Lazio, I think he's Lazio midfielder. This is well good for you.
Dicko's not done anything since I brought him out of the reserves.
He's not happy.
No.
Oh, what? This is just an easy game, isn't it?
I can see him getting back in if I don't do something. It's actually pretty
Have you got Discord on in the background at the moment?
Yeah. But yeah, I moved out of the room with people in because they're playing other games.
Oh, are they? No one's coming on and talking, are they?
I don't think so at the moment, no. They can jump in if they want to.
So Bellamy wants to come on.
So Bellamy wants to come on as well.
He wants to come on and talk about how he's going to finish 16th in the world on FPL. I can't believe he was 16th in the world at one point.
He's doing really well. Ooh. Oh my god, another penalty decision waved away from. Oh, there we go.
Oh, here we go. Che Adams. Is it Che Adams? No, it's not Che Adams. No, it's not. Who was that? Charlie Adams. Oh, here we go. Che Adams.
Yo, yo, yo.
Hey, Wizzy boy, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm good.
Oh my god, I need to beat Reading. Oh yes, Henriksen saves the day. Right.
You
Your
lot
season
change
starts.
your tactics way too frequent. Well, I shouldn't say wait. You lot change it more than I do.
To be fair, you've got two really good centre-backs now.
Well, we're playing on this patch. It's really difficult. Like the game adjusts every time a goal goes in. The game adjusts.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
Right,
every time
yeah,
a goal goes in,
yeah.
The game like changes it up.
Gotcha.
Tries
Right.
to
That's
counter your
probably
tactics
right.
every
Okay.
time.
What patch did you say you
Well,
was
not
playing?
every time,
I saw that
but
Virgil van
normally.
Dijk. Oh my days.
It'll try and
we're
counter
playing
it.
the Pete, you come in Discord, mate.
How do I get like? Wait a minute.
Pete's going to download Discord and jump in. We're playing the 1920 season, patched back in October.
Welcome back.
Where do you get these patches from?
CM0102.co.uk, isn't it, Pete? What's the
Oh, right.
Just if you go on Google and type CM0102.
Because I'm just playing it with the original patch, if you know what I mean.
Right, yeah,
You've got to install it all in a certain order, though, haven't you?
You've got to install it in a certain order, yeah.
To patch it. Not a robot.
Here he goes! Oh, look at this, the Silva Lopez.
Bloody hell,
What
Jay.
a player! Look at this, convincing win here.
Should I log on Discord with my mobile phone?
Too
Jay?
easy.
That was good. That was good. Good win. Much important win. Can you not log in on your computer, Pete?
No, it's not working. You set it up for me, didn't you, last time?
I can't remember what your password was. You know what
I
your
don't
email is. Just say you forgot your password and it'll be sent to your email, won't it?
Yeah, I forgot your password.
Yeah, and it'll be sent to your email address. And then you just make a new one up.
Bored delighted. No way.
Oh, Atsu.
You ain't got no money.
I can't do it, yeah. What's my funds like at the moment? I bet they're shocking, aren't they?
They're amazing.
Oh no, it's alright. I can live with that.
I've got somebody going through for about
I need
6 or 7.
someone. Hang on a sec, Pete. Hang on, I need to list one of these centre backs.
Where is it?
Maybe I don't, because it's on loan.
Where is it gone?
I'm such a div.
Spam?
I've just worked out why I can't hear Pete.
Discord.
Jesus, where?
You just worked out why you can't hear Pete?
Yeah, because he ain't in Discord,
Yeah,
is
yeah,
he?
he's on Discord. There you go, Pete. You got some news on it.
I'm not getting him. Let me have a look. What's my finances like? I got about.
What do you think, Pete? What do you think, Wiz, about people who say that we should be playing modern day football manager games instead of this this Football Manager game, this legendary.
This game's so famous.
Guaranteed, whoever's saying that
it's like it's been
is
rolled
under the
on
age
for 18
of
years in a row
25.
because it's so good.
Yeah. Definitely. It doesn't get any better than this. Cheltenham Town have made an offer for my player Max Sheaf.
I did try. You know that what's it? Football Manager 20.
You can use a backup code or your two-factor.
I've tried that. I'm not gonna lie. It's a good game, but it just drains my laptop too much.
Jay, it says
This game,
enter 6-digit
perfect.
Discord authentication code.
What? One second, Wiz. Pete's trying to
Yeah, no
sort out
worries.
Discord. It says enter authorization code. What's it been sent to? It should tell you what it's been
Yeah, I
sent
know. It doesn't say where it's been texted or anything.
to. Oh.
Pain in the neck. Right, here we go. Let's get this game going and then I'll mess around. Connor Mahoney.
So yeah, Wiz, you saying that we can set up a network game, is that right?
Yeah, at the beginning, it gives you
With this?
options, right? To
Yeah.
add a manager.
There
I don't know what
used
that
to be a
does.
network
And there's,
option.
I think there's 2 different network settings. I ain't even bothered to try and muck about with that. I should do.
We talked about that years ago, didn't we, Pete, about the network thing? But it doesn't seem to work, does it?
No.
Yeah, well, so
too
we
old.
just use screen sharing program.
Yeah, we've got team here,
much
haven't we? I had 3 shots on target. I'm getting caned here. Right, I'm just going to try and hold through this.
But it's a lot more fun when you've got someone else playing it with you, because then the rivalries really can heat up, you know.
One of my
How
strikers
much did you pay
scored.
Pete
Right, I'm gonna try
to
and
say that he was your mate?
see how it goes.
Oh no, I've known Pete for like, God, since like secondary school.
I was going to say school days.
Yeah.
Look at this, Jay.
I like him,
No.
but I hate him that he's playing as Milwall.
Yeah, Pete, you're not got a fan from Wiz. It's the fact that you're playing Millwall. He just picked a random team. He didn't even.
Oh, is he a West Ham fan?
Yeah. He's
Look at
always
Is
done
he?
that. Yeah.
3 goals in like,
God.
what, 4 minutes? Wow.
Rivals, aren't they?
Look at this. Pete's dominating. This QPR just 4 goals in 4 minutes. Yeah, it's mental. Morrison's doing well for you.
Oh,
QPR's got to come back now.
Yeah, watch me draw it.
There it is.
Sometimes when you get like 3-0 up, all of a sudden your keeper just
I
starts spelling
found, I don't know
everything,
about
don't they?
you, but obviously I'm not playing that
could
same,
be that I've got a centre-back
difficult
in.
level that you are, but I found attacking,
He's all right.
short
He's doing
passing,
Yes!
What was it?
Cabano!
attacking, short passing. Yeah, that was just working for me.
Yeah.
Look at this
No
guy.
men behind the ball
Tearing him up here.
and all that malarkey. None of that.
Get Mahoney on.
Well, that works for you. But one thing is that Pete's we're playing this on very hard. And Pete's like winning 5-1. But honestly, you'll get these games where the other team's goalkeeper saves like 20 shots. You're like,
Yeah, look at their keeper. He's playing a 5.
yeah,
That was winding me up. That.
yeah. It does. It gets like that some games.
No, props to you for playing it on that level. No, I couldn't do that. No.
I can't believe I'm just letting it play out.
Struggling
This
at the
shouldn't
moment,
be,
mate.
shouldn't be
Mid-table
5-1.
for Hull at the moment. I'm gonna try
Come
my
on.
best to go far in the cup, but
Yeah, because you might get into Europe that way.
Blow the
I
whistle.
mean, maybe, yeah.
I mean, I managed to get into the Champions League with West
my
Ham.
God.
Right.
Yeah.
Can't win a game, mate.
Discord
Can't win a
game.
game. Yeah, it's
I'm playing against Hull.
Lock in the
I'm sorry. I'm playing against Barnsley. I am Hull. I'm away at Barnsley.
Did you just say you were Barnsley?
No. Got my words mixed up.
Well, I'm going to jump out.
Yeah,
And
alright, mate.
I'll be in and out. I just wanted to say I'm just enjoying watching you two play this game so much. Whilst I'm playing the game as well.
Oh, that's cool, man. Yeah, thanks for jumping in, dude. Thanks for jumping in.
No, I won't. Chat to you soon.
Speak to you later, dude. Oh. Wiz has come in, said that he's enjoying watching us play the game while he's playing it as well.
Is he playing it?
Yeah. He's playing West Ham, and he's in
does
the
not
Champions League. He's not winning anything. He's losing every game in the Champions League at the moment.
Scan this code to log in.
Come on. Shane Long, just do something for the love of God. It's just like, you know. Oh. Shane Long's like knackered right now. I'm making drastic changes at half time. Shane Long's coming off.
Do you think we should log off for a minute off the stream so you can sort Discord out?
No, because then it splits the stream up into two. It's a nightmare when it does that. Oh, yes!
Honeyman. I can't.
I'm probably just going to go defensive mix or something there. Oh, jeez. No. This is going to be a goal. Oh my God.
Invalid 2-factor code. I've no idea what this factor code thing is.
Oh my God. Come on. Honeyman, no.
I was already registered.
Oh my God. That was close. I want to change something, but it's too late. Oh, come on. Oh my God. Draw. Jeez. I am literally not doing very well. 4 games, 4 points in 4 games. Oh. That's not good at all.
You draw?
Yeah.
Well, there's nothing in it between us.
Secretary.
No. Oh, 2 mil. Dwight Gale. Sir Benny. Jermaine Defoe. Battle of the Thunder, God. Come on in. Oh, it's just annoying. No one. Are you alright? look better now. Oh no. Game went 4. Aiden McKinley. Blood in duck. No, he's not gonna come. Yeah. Oh, I need somebody up front. Off the ball. Are you there, Jay?
Yeah, I'm back now. Sorry.
I'm just looking for strike.
Stein is in chat. I think it was Stein anyway. He was saying, what is this game and where do I get it from? Pete, do you want to answer that question?
Well, it's on. If you go on Google and type CM0102 and then download, it's 4
Championship
bits.
Manager 2001,
Yeah,
2002.
there's 4 bits to it. There's 4 bits to it in there. There's like the main game, the EA Sports patch, the update, and the Tapani patch.
Yeah, it's like.
Got to do them all in the right order.
Game.
No. Ooh. I'm gonna try and get a midfielder in. Oh, I've got 2 days.
I don't think I've ever played a Football Manager game better than this. It's just been consistent throughout the years, isn't it?
It's good when like I've taken, at best, I've took like Forest Green Rovers from one of the conference sides up to the winning the Premier League and the Champions League with them.
Forest Green Rovers.
Chris Brunt. Oh,
yeah,
I've got a game.
Bristol City. How's it going, Stein?
Oh, what?
Man? Where's Stein?
My centre-back's on international. Is he left-footed? Yeah, dude. Alright. I need a little strike on the bench, really. Have I got anyone? Nope. Oh, he's gonna have to go on. Oh, awful. I've got to look at these subs. Let's whack him on. Bristol City, Swansea. I can't get a striker and I'm just gonna have to stick with the one I've got. Oh. We need to start getting a bit of consistency now. Oh,
Penalty
yeah.
kick to Bristol. Oh,
Sod off.
Dubravka couldn't save it. That's not like Dubravka, is it?
I don't know. They got Ashley Williams at centre back. Manquillo. Come on, team. I'm just going to carry on. Oh god, they hit the crossbar then.
It's early days, man. It's only 20 minutes. God, it's only 20 minutes in. You pressing the pause button all that time, isn't it?
Right. Oh, my right back's having a howler here. Let's carry on. No, no, I shouldn't have carried on. No, I've got the assist on that. Bradshaw. At the moment, I don't really trust my team to like go like. Sometimes I go like really attacking, and I don't think they're settled enough to try and do that. No, I don't know what's he doing. He's doing alright. Rico might be. Oh no, Diego Rico. I don't want to sub him off. Oh, I can't sub him off. I've got no one else to bring on. How should I bring him on? What's this? Oh, parried.
Oh yeah, there we go. Too much for Bristol City.
Not yet. Uh-oh. He's playing well.
They had a
Morrison's...
penalty though, didn't they? To be fair. There we go.
James Morrison. But, oh, Cabano! Let's get the man that is Cabano on. I like looking at this screen because I can see. Come on, give me a penalty. Oh, I can see more what's happening. Who's not like, on that screen? It's all good, but you can't see what's the individual. Oh, look at Dubravka's having a blinder. Centre back's having a blinder. Ben Thompson. Right, let's get someone else on. Rico. I don't like that Wallace.
Murray Wallace coming on.
They could get past him twice now and...
Murray Wallace and Jed Wallace.
Come on. Just defend it out. I'm on defensive.
I think what I'll do is I'll play my next game and then we'll call that for the afternoon, mate.
Yeah. Oh, smash them.
And then next time we stream, we'll sort your Discord out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Silver, who's this?
He's alright.
Adrian Silver's, oh my god. That's brilliant.
He's a decent player to get in on deadline day. If you wanted to sign it, oh no, you can't sign it on.
I don't want to spend any more money. And I haven't had any bids for any players either, so...
Yeah, I sold that.
New 7 million spent by Milwall. Wow, I haven't spent that much, I'm sure.
No. Oh yeah. Didn't get their work permits.
Will they not? They will. Oh right. Will they come back in January?
I don't think so.
Oh my god.
Oh well. Take that.
Just do it after the deadline.
Bowen will be back in a minute. Who's this? He's not done anything yet. He's playing alright actually. What's this out of? Yeah, alright, you can have a better team. There you go. Oh no, I don't want it. I've got, there you go, 28,000. 5 mil. You can have that.
Oh what? No, everyone wants to bid on him.
Plymouth! Oh. Yeah, whatever.
Right.
Oh, we got another game.
Charlton away.
Easy.
Bowen's back. Linkovic, really? 6.8 and he scored 3 goals and 5. Wow, surprised at
The
that.
ball just... Somebody crossed the ball and just hit him. Look at this team he's assembling.
What's the matter with him? It's right left,
well,
that's why. It's because right left.
He's playing well though.
Literally nothing. Dicko's literally a waste.
Oh, Shane Long 2-footed there. He should have been sent off. He's getting sent off in a minute. Oh!
Why?
I thought it was you. I was like, oh, he nearly scored, and then I was like, oh no, it's Charlton nearly scored. Shane Long's done in, isn't he? Here he goes. Coming out with a masterclass tactics.
Oh, come on.
Here we go. Oh.
God, no. Oh my God, no!
Oh.
First ever goal. Oh God, I need to. Who can save me here? Not him.
Oh.
Not Dicko.
Dicko's just useless, isn't he? He probably scored now, so that way. Defending in numbers. Oh no, Jay! Come on, come on, come on! A Dicko again. Oh no way! Dicko, 94th minute.
94th minute, Dicko.
Got away with
gets
on
me
that.
another draw. 5 points from 5 games. This is ridiculous form at the moment. Ridiculous.
Got away with one there, you did. Oh, right. No.
There you go, sorry, there you go.
What's happened there? Right. He did alright last game. Right.
Good to see Pete on the channel. Dan's in chat.
Is he?
Say hello to Dan.
I remember him playing with Middlesbrough on this. I think I'm going to drop him, he's just been awful.
Pete's taking Millwall into the Champions League.
One day.
To Wizzy's frustration.
Cooper, I don't need him. Right, this Bradshaw up front just needs to do. Oh, Swansea away, I could get pummeled here.
Prislang. Is that
Prelaznik. No, Prelaznik. What's that Dan saying?
Prelaznik, yeah.
Yeah, Dan signed this player called
Prislang, he's saying, but he's obviously
Prelaznik it was. Come on. Oh, I should have scored that. Oh. Got to take these opportunities. Bob Varson's done nothing so far. He's had 2 shots. Oh. Come on, team. No. I might have to change the tactics around in a minute. This ain't work. Well, I don't know. Come on.
6 out of 10, amazing player.
Oh, Prelaznik. He was just like a bench filler for Dan. Oh. Yeah, Woodman.
Austrian.
Was he Austrian? Yeah, he probably was. Should have. Uh-oh.
Has Dan ever won the treble?
Oh my god, they got Ashley Barnes.
Dan, have you ever won the treble on CMO1?
No chance.
I won the quadruple once.
Oh, it's Adrian Silver's captain. You won what?
What was that team I had when I was playing Real Madrid? It was quadruple. I had some insane players. What was that player that played midfield? Oh. Can't remember his name now.
Yeah, I want to stick with the tactics here.
Trying to think.
Taking the game to the opponents.
The game with the name began with an R, and it was like a really long name.
Okay, look at this.
Oh,
It's going to be one of those games where the keeper just plays man of the match. I might
yeah,
have to just.
9. It's on a 9.
I'm just going to try changing it up because this isn't working. This might muck me up.
I nearly got Grimsby promoted into the Premier League. I drew the playoff 4 and lost 5-4 on penalties.
Who's that?
Smashed the keyboard. Had Roy Keane as a 36-year-old. Damn ball. 36-year-old Roy Keane.
Who have I got? I got Wallace. That's about it. I'm gonna have to take off Silver's his first game. Oh no! Oh no!
This is nothing happening.
No!
Oh my life! 3 minutes from time. That's heartbreaking.
Yeah, watch this. This will mess me up now.
He's going all out. Last 3 minutes.
I only got 3 minutes. Oh no, I've got no defensive field there now, so it could. Come on. Oh! That was the chance.
That was a chance.
Oh,
No
you
way.
joking? My new signing played a
So
5.
where does that take you now? Third. Dropped you down to third. You were
Yeah,
second.
but I played a game more. Played 2. I'll probably be
Me,
about here.
I'm just battling to stay out of relegation at the moment. So what we're gonna do, we'll save it here, and me and Pete will have a chat, and we'll announce on Twitter when we'll be playing again. So yeah, we're 5 games in or 6 games in. Pete's 6 games in. We've got our team set up now. Transfer window's shut. So when we come back, we will continue and see how we get on. Thank you for watching, guys. I really appreciate your support and just putting a little bit more content onto the channel while we're waiting for this issue with the pandemic to blow over. So have a good one.